Welcome back, everyone. We're back for our last hour, where the important decision is being made. So, our two characters here, Craw and WolfBurn, have been offered a chance to become, well, undead, and part of the captain's crew. Devour the souls of their old friends, except for a few of them, which can go for of their choice. So, what are you guys saying?
I have a couple questions. First of all, how do we only fight by boarding in the mist, or do we fight with cannons?
The mist usually does most of the job for us. No real need to sink a ship.
But do you have it just in case?
We have some material just in case we need to sink another ship.
What causes the mist?
It's another item I have in my possession. The mist itself is amplified by the curse. Normally it only brings folks to sleep. But we've to concentrate it. Not only sleep, but makes them nice and supple for removal. I
have noticed firsthand the concentrated bit.
You were a tough one there. You almost fought against it twice. Quite impressive. Once was impressive enough.
And how much free will do we have? If you say something, do we have to follow it, or can we do something that we would view as better?
As long as you're doing what's right for the ship. And of course, if it's something critical I'm ordering you to do, you have to do it. But if I'd order you to, let's say, go over to a ship and take care of it, doing it your own way, I'm fine with that. I'll find you a position as one of the officers.
And do we have free roam across the ship?
You would. And we'd remove those nasty brands there. You'd be tied to the rest of us. So I doubt you'd want to be doing too much.
And what if we got tired and wanted to move on?
Maybe get your own ship? Well, if you prove yourself a worthy sailor, I can see, perhaps, leaving you on one of the other ships once we've taken care of it. Let you make a crew of your own. There's room in these waters for plenty of ghost ships. I always wanted to be an admiral. I'll get a much nicer hat. Admiral Thor.
The tip, what you thinking?
So many things. Oh God. Is there a way we can turn this down?
Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, there's kind of a point where you control your character. You can always do something. I just kind of have this opinion of it might be nice.
Like character guys, can we actually turn this down? Our two characters?
Yes, they can. I can think of a way to like subvert this if I needed to. It's just
Craw can't.
It might be kind of fun as a player and a player character. So
it would be an interesting mechanic to this entire series. I'm just gonna say that. And I could work with it.
Us suddenly being undead. Yeah.
I'm gonna accept it.
Okay.
Fuck it, let's go.
Let's see what happens.
So he'll say, put your hands on the mask.
Worst case, we have to make new characters.
Right?
Yes. Worst case scenario. So he's going to recite something in some kind of strange language, as you'll feel this kind of strange energy flow over you, and you feel as though, like, your hearts being ripped out of your chests. And you both will collapse. And you will awaken. And I will note now, I will have to determine the actual type of undead and the exact stats for it a little later. We'll use your normal stats for the rest of the game for now. We'll say that you're in transition time right now. So,
Also,
you can feel that your hearts have stopped beating, though, once you wake up again.
Do
and
we
your
have to
body's...
manually breathe, too?
Yes, you'd have to manually breathe. So, you would have to, like, manually breathe right now, because you don't need to breathe, your heart's not beating, you know, you can feel as though, like, you no longer have life to you. You can also see that while you were unconscious, the brand was removed from you.
I turn to WolfBurn and try to say something to him, but nothing happens. Hi.
Yes.
hello.
This is, different. I kind of stand up and start moving around.
You feel as though, like, your body is kind of strangely sluggish, but still can, you know, it's like, as if you're moving it, like, from outside of your body, as if you're, like, only marionetting yourself to a degree.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And where are we, actually, when we
He
look
just
around?
left you here. They took care of you for... Yeah,
we're just in the captain's quarters.
Yeah, he's just sitting there behind the desk. He lets you guys sit there for a while. They removed the brand from you. It seems like they've just been like letting you. You can see that there's a number of the actual officers in here. That lady that with the kind of pale skin is kind of standing around. The first mate who's looking very unhappy.
I pointedly look at him and smile.
The quartermaster who's like. Now you can see him in his full, like, he's just like this blob of flesh that seems to, like, you're not sure how he stands. As, like, everything is, like, bloated, and it feels like it could just, his skin would tear open, and, well, just awful would spill out at all times.
I'm just thinking of, now I'm blanking on the Dark Souls boss. The one who like became so fat that he literally spilled into goop, and he is the goop.
You also see there's this kind of almost like you almost miss it for a second, and then you see there's this almost kind of like figure made of living darkness that seems to be sitting there within the shadows. You see this like pair of red eyes and can sort of see its form.
I turn to the quartermaster, take out the deck of cards that I took, and toss it to him. You're missing that from your inventory.
He'll kind of like smile a little bit and like, and then kind of like lick his chops a little bit when he's looking at you. Guess I don't get to taste you.
Sorry, I don't taste like chicken.
But I thought you said all your caca tastes like chicken.
That was so the goblins could eat them. We really don't.
Oh gosh. What do we do now?
Okay. Well, now that you're a member of the crew, perhaps Jezebel there can show you around. She'll kind of like give this kind of look, the female one with the emaciated skin that's sort of like pure white almost.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were talking about the dark figure or the woman, because either one of them could have worked.
That's true. The dark figure probably would have been cooler, but no, the dark figure will just sort of like watch. She's gonna kind of like sneer and be like, "Follow me to deck. I'll answer any questions you need about being a new officer. We'll figure out your role later, I guess, Captain."
I am going to turn to the captain.
The captain will kind of turn to you. Once you're acclimated, we can arrange for your friends. Should be a few days. They should still be fine. The ones that you want free.
Thank you, I say.
Lotter. pretty much.
Oh, and Joe's character, what was his name?
Karn.
Karn.
Oh yes, the big one.
So you'll be taken to deck. Is there any kind of questions, or you're free reign because she really doesn't care to like actually watch over you?
Do we still have?
No, your manacles have been removed.
Okay.
Also,
I forgot
yes.
to ask that.
Yes, your manacles have been removed then.
Okay.
You're no longer chained up either.
I am like pointedly like stretching, getting used to the feel of everything.
I'm basically like casting detect magic on myself, figuring out what's going on.
It's kind of doesn't work because it's sort of like detect magic doesn't actually work on undead normally.
I'm just trying to think about like, yeah.
You're like, it's almost like you can feel the cells of your body dying. Also,
Just extremely slowly.
Mm-hmm. So do we basically look normal right now, right? Or has something changed?
Currently nothing has changed character stat wise.
Okay. So, asking her any questions, or are you just gonna like be left to your full reign on the boat? She can answer any questions about, the boat itself currently, I'm gonna ask about,
or your role that you have at the moment. Also,
I'm actually gonna ask about the origins of the boat.
Lost Hope was originally a pirate ship. It was cursed, and then sunk in a storm, and then the curse fully activated, and they were all brought back. The officers are pretty much most of the original crew. There are very few left of the rest of the original crew.
So
They haven't had much new officers. The only other one is, in fact, the quartermaster.
oh god.
Yes.
I'm pretty much instantly gonna like go and inspect as much of the ship as I can, finding everything I can out about it.
Okay. As I said, there seems to be two sides, and then the bilges down below that both have hatches to it. It looks like you probably actually didn't have to worry about the Jezebel finding you, because there's a set of stairs that leads directly to where the mess hall area is from deck. So more than likely when you heard her moving around, she was probably heading towards there to go to deck. There was the two small storage rooms, which do have doors to lead towards the front and back. It looks as if maybe those doors were originally to the halls and were moved, Yeah. Basically, probably you're assuming what happens is when people start sloshing off flesh, they open up those things and put them in barrels. There seems to be a barrel on either side.
And is there gunpowder in here? Or
you do not
around?
see any gunpowder. There does seem to be some areas that you aren't currently being let into. There seems to be a forward quarter. You can't explore the captain's quarters. There does particularly seem to be an officer's quarters that you're not being allowed into currently until you are a proper officer. It seems like they're keeping you out of. It seems like every time you approach it, that shadowy figure seems to appear out of nowhere and sort of watch you very creepily and say nothing.
I'm just gonna look at them. I like you.
So everyone except the quartermaster was the original crew, you said?
Of the
or
officers.
Was not?
Of the officers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And it seems they did say there's a couple other members of the crew that were part of the original. You're assuming the old Bonesy person is too from the stories. But it seems like most of the crew has been replaced over the years.
Yeah.
With new undead. From the captain's collection of cursed items. Well, technically only one's actually cursed. The rest of them he's kind of cursed through his own, dark curse, sharing it kind of thing. Because he's a terrible person.
Yeah. Okay.
The branding iron, which probably did something slightly different originally, and now he's made it that that curses you to turn into undead.
Okay. Well, we're heading back to where the ship was.
Mhm.
There's not much to do until then.
Mm-hmm.
But if... Let's see, so... Detect magic. What is the... I'm doubting the walls of his, room are thicker than 3 feet of wood.
No.
Then I'm gonna at some point cast Detect Magic through the wall and try and figure out exactly where the mask is.
You can get a good idea. The mask seems to be... You get a good idea of where the orbs are and everything like that. It seems like that little shelving area he has to the side, which he unlocked with a key that he had on him. Seems to open that up, and you have an idea of like which drawer has the mask, anything else you might want to take there. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to, you could take the branding iron and a whole lot of orbs of souls. If you somehow broke into there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be... I'm gonna ask him if I could see the mask one more time.
Alright. Sure, he'll allow you to see it, of course. You know, you're intricately tied to it now.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna cast Identify on it.
It's similar to the last one. It's a horrible cursed mask. Apparently, if you were a servant of a certain deity, it would and attuned with it, you probably would get a whole bunch of actual great bonuses. It seems that they had to be used as a twin pair, so the magic isn't quite as well anymore. And it seems that they were cursed once they were originally stolen by a god. I mean, game terms, you're probably not a servant of that deity, so you probably won't get any of those bonuses. We'll just say. They probably would... This probably would have been a legendary item for a servant of that deity that's long since dead. That you don't know about to actually, like, serve anyway.
Well, he might not.
You're like, come on, deity. Come on, deity. I want to learn how to use this. A deity of... it's a deity of death, and you have half of a twin pair of masks that were made to work together. So, I mean, even if you had just the one and could somehow figure out how to attune to it, you perhaps would get lesser effects. So, we'll say, like, somewhere, like, close to maybe high rare, low very rare kind of abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Since it doesn't have...
Yeah, because...
Since you destroyed its twin, technically.
Yeah, because it says, like, magic can be... you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use, how many charges it has, if any.
No charges.
Yeah, so.
I guess if one of you manages to use it, I will let you know all the abilities. We'll say that.
Okay. You just haven't thought of them yet.
I have not. I did not know if you were going to go that route. I kind of assumed you weren't, but if you do want to go that route, I will put together the abilities for it. Just let me know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
One of us definitely is interested.
Yes.
I just know that we're tied to it, and I would like to keep it on us if possible.
Rather than on him.
Yeah.
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 He may he may hunt us to the end of the earth.
I mean, you did realize that when you destroyed it, it didn't kill the other one, it just weakened him. You know, and you're not sure how long that weakening would have lasted. So.
Yeah. I'm probably familiar enough with the concept of liches and phylacteries to know that it's probably better to know where this thing is at all times.
Yeah, probably.
The ship is what's really tied to him, right?
That's what he's tied to, really. But
But there's a degree that he's tied to both of them. One of them he's tied to through magic and a curse he's using to his own advantage.
By the way, like, for probably at least 2 hours, Cross stood directly next to the officers' quarters and just talked at the shadow.
Okay. Anything particular you were discussing?
Not in particular, unless it would talk back.
You have not seen any sight of it talking back to you. Though Though you're pretty sure that it, like, reacted to some of the things you said. It's just, because it is something that seems to be made out of living darkness, it's hard to tell. Which you're pretty sure it's some version of, like, a shadow or wraith or something.
I was like, at one point probably, can you make the shadow puppets, uppy hoppy up?
Dentist, I think you're gonna hate me. It depends. You may just brush it aside, but the other spell I have, the Arcanist Magic Aura, I can make myself appear to a magic item or spell that I am of a certain alignment, race, etc. Can I make this thing? Can I appear to this thing as if I am a follower of its god?
I don't know.
How long does that spell last?
24 hours.
That's not very long.
I mean, it's a day, and you have to...
You change the way a target appears to spell and magical effects that detect creature types, such as paladins. You can choose a creature... Oh, it's creature types only.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, as if it were a creature of that type.
Or that alignment.
Or that alignment.
So, I mean, it more than likely won't work, but truthfully speaking, not to say
that seems like it's very much GM discretion.
Yeah, I'm gonna say for now I am unsure. So
okay.
So yeah, I guess
we kind of just have to wait and see what happens when we get back to the ship to put the souls back in our friends.
I haven't found anything particularly useful unless they have some chemistry items laying around.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't have a chance to look through everything in the quartermaster's room. You probably have some opportunities to look through something there. So if you guys want some, like, upgrades on some equipment, I don't know if there's any kind of, like, things you would use anyway that might be helpful.
I definitely get my necklace back, my magic items back.
Yeah.
I don't think I had any
Okay.
magic items on me.
Okay. Alright, so, there will probably be some things in the quartermaster stuff, like maybe chemical stuff. Probably something's there. I mean, you'll probably be able to find something in that place. Is there anything particular you're looking for?
Charcoal,
Sulfur.
Sulfur, yes, and I think the last one is potassium nitrate.
I mean, you'll probably find 2 of those, but probably not the 3rd.
Or you could just look for gunpowder.
Well, you didn't find any at this point in time.
I know.
Yeah.
So.
I'm gonna take a wild swing and say that they don't have any stump remover.
No. No.
Damn. Can't even mix my own.
Okay. So, eventually the ship will, of course, arrive close to your ship, in which the captain then will bring out the sphere, and you'll see him kind of draw a bony finger across it, as if almost making a slit in it, and be like, give me the names of the souls you want removed.
Barter. Joe's character, I forget his name again.
Karn.
And I'm gonna say... the captain. Because he knows how to get them out of there with the ship,
Nah, we don't need him.
But, no, I think... Do you have sailing proficiency?
No, but that looks suspicious as fuck.
Oh, I'm thinking to get them to safety at the very least.
Okay.
While I wouldn't mind a getaway, at the same time, I kind of want them to be able to get away.
Okay. So...
and I go to say the merchant's name, and I'm guessing you stop me.
So very tempted.
But his best friend, Megrel Meg.
No one needs him alive.
Okay.
I probably...
No one needs him.
It's like, I have all the time in the world now. I don't really need the money.
Exactly.
Alright, so he'll finish his, like, finger across it, as you'll see him, like, kind of, like, almost, like, put his finger into the orb, like, kind of, like, and then pull out, one at a time, these little green wisps that will sort of expand into these balls of green energy and fly off towards the ship. As then you'll see him kind of, like almost rub things up. Can't have the rest of you getting out now, can you? Tasty little morsels. There! Your friends are alive. They should be waking up soon. To a sea of dead. But hopefully they'll be alright with that. Shall we get moving on?
Okay, so who's in the room with us right now?
This is on deck he did this.
Okay.
So, like, I mean, the rest of the officers are probably there. No, the quartermaster probably isn't. Quartermaster isn't, and the Dark Shadow currently isn't there right now. The other two, the Jezebel and the First Mate are there, and a number of, like, deckhands are working.
And I'm guessing the mask is not here.
No.
Yeah.
And currently the captain is turning to return the sphere, basically.
Yeah, I know.
Is the mask locked up in there? Or?
Yeah, I see.
As far as you know, he may or may not have left it unlocked at this moment in time, because he did get out the sphere and just walk out of his quarters.
So I'm gonna kind of make a little bit of small talk. Like, so what do we do now as we walk back? Kind of. And I'm gonna kind of like gesture for Kra to get actually one of the boats, like one of the escape boats is essentially ready, or the landing boats or whatever they're called.
Dinghies.
Dinghies, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So Crawl, give me stealth dinghy preparation check, I guess.
Well, do you actually plan to do that, or what?
I'll turn to the captain. It's been several days. May I go check on them and make sure that they can still survive?
Smart.
Reasonable.
It would be a waste to release their souls and then have them die anyways.
True. And you can't say I don't have some honor myself. Unlike my thieving brother.
This dude's gonna fucking hate us.
Oh, so much.
So I go over and, like, prep the little dinghy and go over.
Okay, he's going to send Jezebel with you, though.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I'm so worried we're gonna just start rolling crap.
who is gonna, like, which one of us is gonna go first here?
Well, see, I almost wish we did this in reverse because you could fly. In fact, I might stop and go, I know a little bit more about medicine than you do. Perhaps I should be the one to go over there. So you're stealthier. You can sleight of hand better than I can.
Yeah. Out of game, though, I was trying to think of a way, like, we don't have to escape at this moment.
Well, okay. I feel like we would have had time to talk about this, but at the same time, we were completely unsure out of game. So, is it reasonable, Tentus, to kind of talk things over a little bit now?
Sure. You can say you did have some time, a little bit of time before you arrived.
Just stick with the captain and don't do anything that Crawl would do.
So don't steal the stuff.
Yeah, just hold off at the moment.
Okay, I will. Then I'll just.
Okay. And Prawl, you'll head over to the ship. Is there anything you're doing over there other than checking up on everyone?
Obviously checking up on them, giving a little bit of food and water so that they can become active.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to start taking the gunpowder from over there.
Okay.
Okay.
How are you doing this without alerting Jezebel?
Oh, I'm doing it right in front of her, and if she asks my reason, and this is a fucking good reason, is let's say that they become active before we get away while we're still on the dinghy. They could launch shots at us without an issue.
Why don't you just throw it overboard?
Well, we might need the shots. Besides, I kind of like mystery.
She's gonna give you a kind of funny look and be like, fine.
And besides, have you ever seen someone who, rather than getting a lashing, or after lashings, in fact, you sprinkle a little gunpowder on there and cauterize it with it?
She kind of give this funny look and like shake her nose. Gotta learn more to be yourself nowadays. Things have changed since you stopped. Your heart stopped beating. Come on.
Oh, it's less about cauterizing the wound and more of you people seem to like inflict pain on the people who do not listen. That could be very interesting.
Okay.
So I assume I get at least one big barrel.
Sure, you can get like when a like a barrel like this size. They don't have a huge amount of it here anyway.
All right.
Your ship was not like super loaded for battle at all.
Works for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be back on the ship. She'll try to take the barrel away then, and move over towards the opposite quarters.
I figured I'd just keep following her, not letting go. Like,
Okay.
My arms aren't tired.
As she gets to the door, she'll be like, I'll handle it from here and put it into storage. Once your changes are complete, we can worry about your next step and getting in here with it. Then we can have you attempt your plan.
She
She kind of like look you over and go, like, maybe discipline might be a good job for you anyway.
I'm very curious about the wounds. And so at first I hand it over and like follow her next to the door and just wait.
Okay.
And what do I see in there when she opens it?
The room itself is actually probably could have once been quarters, but now it seems to be some kind of storage room for, like, you see a couple of actual cannons in there, some materials to fire them, other very strange things, like a couple sets of what look to be like torture equipment. It's sort of like each one of them is storing things in there that they like, but there's a couple of strange looking barrels in there with like years marked on them, it looks like. One of them seems particularly old.
So there are cannons and everything in there?
There's a pair of cannons in there.
Oh, good God.
They seem in such a way that they could probably be wheeled out the door if needed be. It looks as if maybe they were stolen from another ship rather than being originally installed on this ship, we'll say, too.
Wyrm, I'm sorry. As she's entering into the door, I'm pretty much just gonna full-on shoulder bash her in the middle of the back and get in there and hopefully try to pin her, knock her out, fight her, I don't care.
Okay.
Okay. We're doing this now. Got
pretty
it.
much make it to where hopefully she can't get to me for a little bit.
Okay, it's going down. Let's do this.
Alright. Okay. So... Welp. One of these I don't think actually works on you. Alright, so I guess, you'll shoulder your way inside. She seems very unhappy about this. What are you trying to do in here? She hasn't quite gone to combat yet. She seems very close to it, though. You can see her, like, her hand on her sword, ready to, like, pull it out. Or, I guess, cutlass.
Grapple check.
How... I have two ideas in my head for, A, how to defuse the situation, or just fucking go for it. Wyrm, decide for me.
Defuse the situation or go for it?
Yeah.
I'm honestly gonna go for it at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting kind of late, so maybe go for it.
I, close the door behind me and, I guess just full on try to charge her as best as I can, since I'm just going for it.
Okay.
And, I mean, my eventual goal is to, pretty much load as much gunpowder into a cannon, aim it down, pretty much, or, you know, however I can, so that it's all confined to make a big explosion, and then just light the fuse and get to the other side of the fucking ship.
Alright, from her position, you could probably... She just opened the door. If you barreled into her, you could probably close the door and separate her out, but it will cause much of a commotion. But the thing is, it's going to cause a commotion regardless that you're, like, kind of, like, doing this. So, do you want her in or out of the room?
I guess out would be a better situation,
We'll
and block it with a random thing.
Yeah, okay.
Alright.
WolfBurn, something's happening at the front of the boat that seems very, driving of you. What are you doing?
Driving of me?
Crawl just did something. You're not sure what he did, but there seems to be commotion going on.
Okay.
Actually, no. You know what? You're currently in the room with the captain as he's putting down the soul, and you hear a commotion going out on deck, we'll say. That's probably where you've been, since it has been a little bit. He's putting back the sphere. You know, you were sort of talking to him for a little bit, and he was sort of moseying slowly. Okay.
And he kept the mask with the spheres, right?
The mask was in the same thing as it. He basically has just, like, opened up the cabinet. He didn't have it locked. He's put down the sphere, and now there's a commotion going on outside.
And it doesn't seem to be detracting from his attention at all.
It does, actually. Are you going to wait and see what he does, or...
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can make a sleight of hand check.
Mm-hmm.
Actually... Okay. So, Mage Hand can grab things.
Yes.
So, but... to do things subtly, it has to be... You have to have the arcane trickster. Right? Like, where would you define that line? Because I almost want to, like, sleight of hand, like, grab it while his back is turned and, like, slip it kind of, like, elsewhere.
Well, I mean, you could just see if he's closing it or else, too. And if this distraction might be enough also for you maybe to try to sleight of... I don't know if you can... If it's just... Arcane Trickster.
There's that line distinction there, which I feel like, you know, you don't want to detract from the trickster, but at the same time, sometimes you want to do something a little bit more subtle with the mage hand. Because I know you can't, like, pick locks or something. That's very arcane trickster, you know, the very dexterous things.
Yeah.
But just to grab something and move it quickly.
Let me try. Of course, like, this is the day that when I'm moving my, like, setup, I don't bring the 5th edition book up with me. So.
I could take a look fast.
I'm trying to like just quickly look it up right now.
When you cast Mage Hand, you can make the spectral hand visible. You can perform the following additional tasks. You can slow one object the hand is holding in a. You can stow one object in the hand, or stow one object the hand is holding in a container worn or carried by another creature. You can retrieve an object in a container worn or carried by another creature. You can use thieves' tools to pick locks and disarm traps at range. You can perform one of these tasks without being noticed by a creature if you succeed on a dexterity sleight of hand check, contested by the creature's wisdom perception.
And looking at, of course, Mage
In addition,
Hand,
you can do this as a bonus action.
I think it's not impossible for you to do something, but it's not as subtle as you want it to be, I'm going to say.
Yeah, because it's not like on a person like these ones say, like, oh, you can stow an object or container on a person or something. But yeah, because that's like so it's like specifically picking pockets. So I'm just trying to move it while his back's turned. Okay.
Yeah. So what are you trying to do with your back's turned? Move the sphere?
The mask first.
The mask is still in a drawer right now, though.
Oh, okay. Then.
We need the mask.
The mask is honestly more important. So.
Well, just to speed things along, we'll just say, He'll say to you, you wait here. I'm going to go see what that's going on.
Very well.
Steal everything.
Nah, I'm just gonna steal I'm gonna honestly be simple and steal our ship's orb and the mask.
Any other of the items?
I mean, there are some other drawers.
No,
there's
the other stuff.
Brand, all the other
There's
orbs.
the brand, but that's honestly, I don't care if that goes down with the ship.
Oh, I don't care about the brand.
Yeah, so I just want the mask and the orb for our ship. That's all I'm going for. So yeah. So when he walks out of the room, I'll snatch those, slip them into my bag, or
okay. And
wait I'm gonna wait by the door to figure out what happens next.
Okay. So yeah, there'll be some pounding on the door and some yelling from the lady as everyone else is like trying to be like, you know, you're doing something weird and slightly shady, and they're not quite sure what's going
Slightly?
on. I mean, yeah, really shady. And they're not sure what you're doing anyway, because it's sort of like you took the deal? So they're not quite like, what are you doing?
So yeah, just putting everything gunpowder I can into one spot, pretty much.
Okay. I don't even know what kind of check it would be to use one of these things for a siege weapon off the top of my head. Just roll a d20. Straight d20, and I'll see how you do.
Well, I don't exactly have to aim, I just have to light it.
I know, but it's also like successfully using it to a degree. I mean, you're going to cause damage, but the kind of damage that you maybe want, that's the question of how well you'll do. We'll say. Excuse me. Drink.
Not well. Hopefully things catch on fire.
Interesting things will happen. Regardless, interesting things will happen. That was just, you know, like, will you probably sink the ship with this maneuver? The answer is, unfortunately, probably not. But interesting things will certainly occur. How are you getting out of this room once you've set everything to go?
Pretty much the classic, like, all gunpowder in one section kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Long line of, like, starting with the slower burning fuses and then into the gunpowder line. And then just barrel my way out the door and run.
I mean, there's probably a window in here, as it's the...
Oh, there's a window?
Yeah, there's probably, like, a small window or something here.
Oh, well then, whoop, light, fly.
Yes. So you're going to fly out the window as the captain will finally get up there, as he kind of moseyed up there, and he'll just move his hand and the door will open, you know, kind of thing. WolfBurn, you'll see this. And then you'll notice that, like, You will probably actually be there for it. There is a massive explosion at the front of the boat, as basically the front of the boat explodes.
I'll take that as my cue, and I'm going to as stealthily as possible jump off the side of the boat.
Okay.
As I'm like flying by, I use my talons to just kind of like rip the rope off of one of the dinghies, and it'll drop.
Okay. So a dinghy almost falls on your head, WolfBurn, as it comes flying down. It kind of like, it also is like, it somehow manages to land quite right. It kind of almost like breaks down and stuff. So it's like, it's probably not in good shape. It wasn't in good shape to begin with anyway. But there's a dinghy right next to you.
Okay, I'm gonna climb into it and start to row away, turn around, and cast Burning Hands and see what happens.
Yeah, I was gonna land by you and say, burn.
It will probably do something, but, it's a fire spell on wood will do something, but it's a fire spell on wet wood. So you're probably causing some damage and maybe starting a small fire. It's true. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Uh-huh.
Chromatic orb acid damage.
Okay. So you're gonna melt like a hole in the side.
Yeah, preferably lower near the waterline.
It'll be near the waterline. You probably can't get it below the water, unfortunately.
Of course.
It's enough that's going to cause some difficulty with it, definitely.
All the orbs just make a line.
I will cast as many. I will probably use like all but one of my first level spell slots on this.
You'll just pound it in like a certain area, like melting parts of it down, because it is the hull of a ship, so it does take a little bit. But yeah, we'll just say like you've caused some hullage on the one side, and you'll get over to your ship. You're going to get over there way ahead of them, a crawl or him. What are you doing?
I am like, is everyone on our other ship like awake besides the soul people?
Only the soul people are awake, right? No one's actually awake right now. I mean, they're all like lying around. The soul people weren't really awakened yet. It looks like they were like recovering, but it would probably take a little time. So you are the only you're not technically living, but you're the only conscious thing on the ship right now, Craw. And your ship has been sort of floating by wind a little bit just because, the sails have been open. But
I have spent a lot of time on deck and in the crow's nest.
Uh-huh.
Dear God, I hope that helps me as I try to just start to sail this thing.
Okay, you'll head to the wheel and try to do something. Give me just a wisdom check, we'll say.
Wisdom check.
Yeah. I do not know the... Okay, well, Okay, so you're like, I got this, guys. I got this. As you begin to, steer the ship, you, manage to, turn the wheel. You, grab a couple of the ropes and, pull them in such a way to catch the wind a little better because it wasn't quite in the right play. You know, if I, cut this rope, it'll, open up the one sail a little bit more. If I pull this one and, tie it off a little bit. You, as WolfBurn's, climbing up to the side of the ship, you're like, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Just start directing him. Do this! I have too many things going on.
As the two of you begin to, begin to sail off, you'll also notice now that you're,
I'm doing one thing with one hand, mage handing another thing.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. Crawl, for a second you'll be staring there, and you kind of, look over to, the one side, to look towards the ship, look over there's a shadowy figure next to you that seems to be kind of just standing there.
So what happened?
It's just kind of, looking at you. It nods.
I'm just like... Hello, my friend.
No one ever talks to it.
I made a friend.
No one talks to it because it's creepy and it has no physical form and can't speak. In the last 100 years, no one had spent an hour with this thing.
And I spent 3.
Yeah. So it's like, well, I guess I'll go with you guys. You're much more fun than them.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I may no wait, I'm keeping the goblin trainee too.
You're making
okay,
I'm
gonna spend as much time as needed to figure out how to use this orb to return souls?
You're pretty sure if you just open it up, it looks like he had a technique for opening up without releasing everything else. It looks like if you just open it up, as long as the body is still alive, it should return to it.
Awesome, I do that.
Okay. So you return all the souls to the crew, though they're still very unconscious, except for, after you've been sailing a little bit, I guess Barter and Karn and the captain wake up first.
So we got out of the mist, right?
Oh my gosh.
You will get out of the mist, yes. You will be able to escape the mist before they are in a condition... They're probably crippled, technically, because the front of their ship kind of exploded.
And there is a swath of acid holes.
Yes, they probably have to double the people on the bilges, so they are delayed by an extreme amount. But you also probably hear this booming voice deep within your souls of vengeance.
Okay.
We'll have actual cannons next time.
Just saying. Just saying.
Oh, this is an interesting game.
I can't believe that shit actually came out alright.
Yeah.
The thing is,
alright is probably the best way to put it.
The thing is, you did make actions and say things in the proper way, and you made some pretty good checks when you made the checks, and I made some checks that did not beat you for those checks.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. A couple of rolls on my side were in your favor, so, I mean...
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, though, again, out of the ways you could have pissed him off, this is probably the worst?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Go big or go home.
Hey, what? What? It took him how long to find his brother, and he didn't even find him? I think we'll be good.
Well, his brother died, around the same time that he died, and that's why they didn't find each other,
That's true.
As I'm sailing pretty much until the captain is, up
awake.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be talking to the shadow, do they have, an actual form, or are they just a shadow with red eyes?
It looks like it has a form, but it's very hard to tell what the form is, unfortunately. It's as if, there's, was a body in the center, and, the shadows just sort of constantly, pour off of that body. So you can sort of see, generally speaking, it's got hands, feet, stuff like that. It's got a face, and it's just got, where the red eyes are, where it's, where the eyes would have been.
Yeah, so, the entire time until the captain wakes up, I'm gonna be having discussions with this thing, trying to, get it to... trying to get him or her to express itself in a way that I can start understanding.
Okay. We'll say you'll have some backstory from it at some point in time, then. You'll probably be able to figure that out. Cool.
And, WolfBurn. As soon as the captain wakes up and starts taking over, I'm asking you for the mask.
I'll ask why, specifically. I don't mind, obviously, but I just am I don't mind giving it to you, but I'm just curious why you want it.
Well, if you think about it, if he is such an undead as we are now, and it is tied to this thing, if I can find a way to become attuned to it, or something like that, I might be able to shove him out of the blessing. Or curse, depending on how you look at it.
See, I wasn't entirely thinking of doing planning on doing something entirely different. Actually, one of the things I was planning... Okay, I say, you know what, sure, but let me every day cast the Arcanist Magic Aura to mask the fact that this thing is magical every day.
I have no problem with that.
Just so people can't detect it with detect magic spells.
So, pretty much from however long the next time skip is, I'm going to be studying this thing, communicating with my shadow friend when I need physical exercise, training my pupil, and trying, when communing with that thing, trying to find out which god it is attributed to,
Okay.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
I effectively, for the next year, I think it's, or is it month? I hope it's month, actually. Is it year or month? However long I need to make it permanent. I effectively have one less spell. Oh, 30 days. Okay, it's just a month. So it's not too bad, but we still have another adventure before then. But I effectively, for a month, have one less second level spell slot, because I'll be doing this every day.
Until I actually get used to it.
No, because if I cast it on every day for 30 days, it becomes permanent.
Oh, so you could just permanently hide it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. So we'll kind of end off here. In the next one, before the next one, we're gonna figure out how your undead stats work, cause
Yeah.
I'm thinking what it'll do is there have been some suggestions for a basic type, and I'll basically kind of roll a random type of undead after that you'll have traits based upon, so alter some traits of it. So you'll be slightly different undead. We don't know what you're going to be.
Okay.
If, when the captain wakes up, I'm pretty much going to be like, get us to the nearest port town with my temple.
He probably doesn't know where your temple would be in a port town. He can get you to the big city, and from there you can either travel by land.
The big city probably has one.
Yes.
I don't mean specifically my temple. I mean any Long Death temple.
Again, he isn't probably too familiar with those, but he's going to try his best. He'll say, the big city will either have one, or at least they'll be able to point you know of one nearby. Yeah.
I was going to be like, let's finish this adventure, and let's finish the sea adventure, and let's get to some land.
That's probably where we're going to end up next time, on land.
Yeah.
Arriving in port for the next misadventure, where you'll be pretty obviously undead, though I guess you'll figure out ways of hiding it by then. Just saying. It's gonna only be depending on what you're gonna end up, depending on how hideable it will be.
Yeah.
So, all right. So why don't we go around and give some thank you everybody for being here, of course, and why don't we go around the sort of to our two players and have them promote themselves. Let's start with WolfBurn. Wyrm/Wyrm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I am Diamond Wyrm, spelled with Wyrm. And you can find me on my channel, twitch.tv/DiamondWyrm. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, sometimes extra days, and you can tell when those days are going to be based on my Twitter, which is @DiamondWyrm.
Okay.
That's about it.
Crawl/Tiv.
Everyone calls me Tiv, but my handle on pretty much everything is Tivolic. As you'll see in chat whenever I mention anything. I can't stream currently because I had to downgrade, let's say, but I'm planning on getting a new computer soon, in which case I don't have time sets, but I will be streaming often.
Cool. And of course, I'm Dracovin, your normal host. You can find me here. Next time I should be here will be Wednesday, but it's going to be an unusual schedule, so stay tuned for that schedule, because either I have to do something in the evening that will take a lot of hours. So either I'm going to do my normal Wednesday stream before then, or after, which after will be incredibly late Eastern time. So keep informed on Twitch for that one there. Other than that, of course, you can continue to support any of the players in their stuff, too. I would definitely recommend it. If you want to continue to support me, you can keep watching here. Follow, subscribe, that stuff. Subscribe on YouTube. Of course, I do have a Patreon if you want to do stuff with us and things like that. There's a lot of cool rewards there if you want to check that out. I will eventually probably have some kind of Discord of my own if I can figure out how to get it working decently and stuff. But working on it. So... anyway, thank you all for joining. We'll hopefully be all here next week, and in another enjoyable adventure with the Once Upon a Misadventure crew. And anyway, have a great evening, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.